Yeah. Okay, so let me share this small presentation. Just give me a moment. I hope you can see it. Right. So first of all, a lot of people get kind of little confused with the terms. So we have few more people who have joined in. Somebody has joined in as OnePlus, so maybe the device name. Maybe you can rename yourself, and also if you want, quickly introduce yourself. And we also have Vijay. Oh, sorry, Pranav. Pranav is from Arohi. Pranav, you want to say hi to the group? Meanwhile, somebody who's come logged in as OnePlus Nord, would you please rename and kind of quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I am Pranav. I am from Mumbai. I'm father of 9-year-old daughter, and we are into this open learning for past 2 years now, and we are still exploring more about this. Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Soumya here. So I'm not able to rename it, sorry. I'll try it again. I'm a teacher by professional. I wanted to learn more about open learning and help the children.
Thanks, Soumya. I don't know your name spelling, so whatever came to my mind, I've renamed your name in the
No, that's
participant.
correct, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay, we also have Hardik. Hardik, you want to say hi to the group?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Yeah, you can just share where are you from and just 1 or 2 lines, and then we can.
Okay, I'm basically from Gujarat. Okay, and but staying in Bangalore. Okay, because I'm working here. And yeah, so I'm working in IT field. Okay, so networking engineer.
Okay, and what gets you interested in open learning?
It's long thought because I myself felt while doing my education, like 2 things I observed, okay, in my education. One thing, whatever I learned in school, I have never applied till now in my life. One thing. Okay. So I always have question like what I studied and what I am working has no relation, no life has relation with what we studied. So this is one thing. And second thing, sometime I didn't really enjoy what I was learning in the school. I'm learning because everybody is learning. I'm learning because I'm going school because everybody is going. So it's not like I was not good at study. I was good. Like I was scholar, first, second, third always. My rank was first, second, third always. But still, this doubt was always there.
Cool. Thank you, Hardik.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I'll just start with a quick presentation, and then we can go on to open discussion. Whoever wants to ask or share anything. Right. So the first clarification is that there are so many terms. Some people say homeschooling, unschooling, free schooling, free education, open learning, open education, world education. There's so many terms. So I want to clarify, let's not get lost in the term, though I will be using open learning in general, but you can replace it with whichever term you are comfortable with. There is no strict definition to these terms. What is really more important and more interesting is this continuum that you see on the slide. I hope you can see the slide, which shows that it's more about, it's more about where we are at a particular point of time. Sometimes we are very structured, like this conventional school is. Sometimes we are totally unstructured, totally open, no curriculum. Sometimes we could be in between. Sometimes we can move from one part of, we can get more structured or less structured. We can go more towards a particular curriculum. Sometimes we can be more child driven. Sometimes the child can himself or herself say, I want to be part of something more structured. So it's all very open. It's not something which is like fixed. And that's to us the best part, that life should be like this, where we have continuums, where we have options, and that is the core message we like to give, that why are we just getting stuck with one system? Why can't we look at the multitude of options? So before I get into that, how we look at that, we started our journey many years back, almost 20 years back, thinking, hey, why education? What is the purpose of education? And the answer that kind of came across from different people, institution, was more in the realm of, earning or learning to earn, kind of get a job, get a career. So the education looked more designed to deliver on that. Uh, but that obviously did not excite us. So for us, the whole thing was that, hey, life is about living. And if life is about living, then learning or education has to be about living. Or rather, I would say they are synonymous, as in learning, living, education is all the same thing. We learn, and as we learn, we live, and as we live, we educate ourselves, and as we educate, we live, and so on and so forth. So that's how we look at it. And this kind of appeal to us very intuitively. As Hardik was saying, it wasn't necessary that we enjoyed schooling, because it was not something we could always relate to. But when we live our life, we are fully in it. There is no need to relate to anything. It's all automatic. Yeah. Which is why we came up with 4 propositions when we start looking at living and learning as the same. The first one is, we realize that we don't need to bind anybody with any curriculum. Each one can decide what is it that they want to learn now. And they can always learn whatever they want to learn whenever they need to learn in their life. Why can't I learn trigonometry at 40 or French at 60? Why do I have to pack it in certain years? So I can learn whenever I want, whatever I want. And let the child's interest, let the child's desire, natural instincts drive what he or she wants to learn. And not just what somebody would like to learn or do in a day or in a week, but also how they want to do it. They want to just go ahead and try it. They want to copy somebody. They want to check out a YouTube video. They want to even go to a teacher and say, teach me. That's absolutely fine. But till they are deciding what they would like to do with anything. A lot of times children are very self-driven, in the sense of they just want to go ahead and try it out rather than wait for some instruction or some tutorial to happen. The third proposition, if you combine actually the first two, we realize that, hey, the child doesn't need to be assessed. Nobody likes assessment. At least I don't like assessment. I don't know about you all, but I definitely didn't like being assessed, even now, even earlier. I would rather have my own reflection, my own self-assessment as to what I want, wanting, how am I doing, how well am I learning, and so on. And children are amazing self-assessors. Only thing is, and that is the life skill they will be using, and anyway throughout the year. So it makes sense to let the children self-assess themselves, obviously with feedback from all around. The fourth proposition is actually, if you take the first three, it's not even required, is that, hey, we don't need to get stuck with this school, college degrees. There's nothing wrong with school, college degrees. If anybody wants it, they are available as an option, but that's not the only option. There's so many other ways to build one's life, to build one's even career, and so on and so forth. So one doesn't need to get into a school, college, or a degree necessarily. It's actually individual's choice. And this itself is a very freeing proposition, because the moment I realize, I can design my own life how I want, depending on what I want, then everything looks like the whole world looks like a beautiful canvas to paint one's life on. So that's broadly what open learning, according to us, is. It is kind of a combination of these 4 propositions. Obviously, this leads to a lot of questions. So I'm kind of just playing through some slides. You don't have to bother reading everything on the slide, because I've already sent this to all of you through mail. It's also available on our website. So this is a list of thoughts that most people share when we ask them these questions. So I'll run through them just for you. So the first question that comes, why do this? Why do open learning? Why do unschooling? There are a lot of answers. Somebody says, I want to do it so that I can do my learning at my own pace, or somebody says, I want to get practical skills. Somebody says, I want to find myself, my interest. Somebody says, oh, there's no pressure then, and so on and so forth. We want to summarize it that basically means that I am a leader of myself, which to us sounds awesome, because each child is born to lead himself, not necessarily others. That's a different leadership. The more important leadership is to lead oneself, because that's what one will do all one's life, right from the day we are born. So that's that question leads to what kind of learning, what kind of curriculum. Again, different people have different answers. Some people say let it flow by choice, by interest. Some people say no, let the family decide. Some people say self and emotions and all of this is very important. Some people say based on whatever is around us we can learn. Some people say all topics are equally important, and which leads us to make this map of the world. We say to everybody that, hey, the whole world is our map. And we are not really talking about the world, but everything that's available to learn in this world becomes a curriculum. And that sounds, that's very, very wide and very, very interesting for us. The other kind of questions people ask is, hey, what kind of people support exposure that I need? Again, in today's online world, the kind of resources are like infinite, literally. Yeah, just YouTube seems to be, infinite, at least in my definition, as well as there are so many people there. So we say that let's not worry too much about resources. Let's not worry about people. Let's not worry about where will the child will learn, because if that is what the child will learn, the child will figure out. Nothing can kind of stop the child, kind of thing. And young children like Hardik's son, I can see him on the video, I'm sure are perfect examples of them. When they want to do something, they'll figure out how to do it. If they want to play with a ball, even if there's no ball, they will start throwing whatever they have in their hand to play catch. So there's no limit to how resourceful they are. Yeah. People talk about learning environment, schedule, plan, system. We say, forget all that. Just look at this. Just look at the whole canvas, right from the self, which is, so if we draw these circles around, let's say the learner, within 1 meter is the self, which itself is a huge resource to learn. Then there is a family, then there are friends and relatives, the neighborhood, then the whole locality, city, world. So if you really see the whole world is an environment, is a system, and everything that is available is an option. Just the other day, we in our campus is in little away from even away from village. It's in little wilderness, and we heard barking at around 2:30 in the night. So we kind of went out to see, hey, who's there? And we saw on the hill there were some torch lights. So we asked them, hey, what are you doing? They said, we are hunting for rabbits. And we said, the first thought that came in our mouth was, hey, can we join you? And they said, yes, come over. So at 2:30 in the night, few of us were out there hunting rabbits. Not that we caught any, but it was fun. So what I'm saying is, that's the beauty of open learning. You can literally explore anything and at any point in time. So everything becomes an environment. Everything becomes a resource. And that's very, very exciting. Some people say, hey, so what about college and all? And as I said earlier, you can either choose to go to a college when there are so many options. You can figure that out, or you can just choose to continue to be self-driven, which is self-employed or or even join jobs based on what work you have done. And we have many examples, and I can share with you if you want to know about these. So both the options are available. So it's still as open as anyone would like to. People also a little worry about, oh, if I'm doing homeschooling, unschooling, what about social skills? What about self skills? But the people who are doing it would say, don't worry, there are so many people around you. Peers don't need to be just, kind of your age people. Peers don't need to be just people who are with you in your neighborhood. everybody is a peer in this whole world. Everybody I can learn with, I can learn from, I can even teach to, and so on and so forth. And anyone, not just in terms of demographic, in terms of the type of people itself. So the world becomes open. So the social skills, life skills come from anybody and everybody around me. Yeah. Uh, Finally, people talk about what would be my role, my time, my expertise, and typically the kind of answer I like to give is, hey, everything that you like doing is a part of facilitation. So it's not like you have to be different to be with the child. It's more like we are just together trying to figure this out. So it's more of a co-passenger, co-creation kind of a thing. Some people do talk about challenges, issues, problems. We say all challenges, issues, problems will come, and those are most welcome because those become the opportunities to learn. So if somebody says, oh, this looks very challenging, I would say, amazing. Isn't that going to make me grow or make me learn? So all challenges are welcome in open learning. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much about open learning. Typical, you can say, journey of an open learner is when they're typically a little younger, they look for a lot of exposure. As children grow older, they look for exposure, then they get into more exploration. Typically, exploration is interest-based. And once we start exploring as they grow older, they may want to get expertise into few areas, one area. And based on their expertise, they can go to the enterprise level, which is when they can start earning. So that's the typical progression. Although realize when even for people who are in the expertise level, they will still be exploring some other things and still be getting exposed to some things new. So the journey is kind of always ongoing. Yeah. So that's about open learning. What Arohi does is Arohi is a community. So what we do is we are a lot of families like Pranav's family, my family, and so on. And we all get together because we think it's much more fun when we are connected with each other, maybe based on our interests, maybe based on what we like doing or what we are interested, what we connect with. And also we collaborate. So the community comes together on a daily basis and does a lot of things together. There's also a lot of cross mentoring, coaching with each other. So nobody feels alone because there's so much support of each other. Children mentor children, adults mentor children, children mentor adults, and so on. So this whole community ones is fun. The whole idea is to kind of co-create, co-live, co-support. And that is what is how open learning happens at Arohi. So typically, everybody who is part of Arohi community is connected, typically through technology. So, and on a daily basis, some of us are at campus, some of us are at home. That doesn't matter. Wherever we are all together as a community. And yeah, the invitation is, if you like to, you can come and visit the campus. That is one way of understanding open learning. These meetups are another one. Yeah, I think this is a good place to pause. I want to leave you with this quote, which says, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be worth it. That's the way we look at it. And today's theme somehow is also on similar lines. Pranav, you want to talk a little about today's theme? Every Saturday we have a little theme. So yeah, let me stop sharing and.
Yeah, so today's theme is challenges. So I think we all come across challenges in life. So of course there are constraints and limitations, and to what we can do and what are things around us that are available for us. So in terms of resources, could be anything. But should that challenges prohibit us, or does it make us more resourceful? Does it make us more efficient? So it's up to each individual how we pursue these challenges. And for that we also have a small poll here. Probably Ratish, if you want to which offers you some, just to trigger that thought of about challenges and what is open learning, a small poll which we are trying to run here, and you can just choose any of the answer, and what comes to your mind, just to initiate that thought, and then probably we can discuss about the theme, maybe challenges, or even just generally about open learning, where we can have question answers about open learning if you have more doubts or you want to have more details about it, or even about ROE maybe in the later part. So that's how the flow will be.
Yeah, just 1 minute, Pranav. I don't know why it's giving an error when I click on polls. I don't know. Every time I click on polls, it's just giving me a. Pranav, should I just log out and log in? I'll just make you the co-host.
Yeah.
I don't know why is it giving me an error.
Maybe by end we can do it, or you can start with this Q&A and.
Yeah, so I'll just you start the discussion. I will log out and log in.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So-
I
so,
lose the recording. Okay, let's see. Then no problem. Yeah, Pranav, you just start the discussion. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
guys. We had a couple of questions, but I think the poll is Zoom is giving me some issue today.
Okay, so the invitation here is, you are everybody is open and free to see answers, or probably whatever best we can offer, we'll share our journey. And there are families. I see Lakshita here, who's a child. Anjali with us is here from Arohi. So we as families would try to just Ambika is with us. So we'll share our experiences, and if probably that helps you in some way. That's the idea of these meetups. So feel free to ask questions about anything that you feel about open learning or would like to know about open learning. And there is no order here, so it's like you can just kind of go ahead, unmute yourself, and free to ask.
I think Bani wants to say something. She's unmuted herself. So I'll just.
Actually, I want, how you engage the kid for whole day, and how do you make them work on their own?
Okay, Anjali, Ambika, as parents, you want to answer this? Probably, I think this is coming from as a parent's perspective. How do you engage your child, or that's what I believe Barney is kind of wanting to understand. Ambika, you want to come in?
Yeah, Ambika is coming. Ambika, unmute yourself. You're on mute.
Yeah. Can you please come again? Sorry.
I think Barney was wanting to understand how do we keep the child engaged, or how you keep them occupied the whole day. So how do you go about it?
Yeah. It's not 1 day, 2 days journey. It's almost like keep on asking the child, what do you plan? How do you do? The child sometimes does, sometimes doesn't do. It's like a long span of like whatever the child does or doesn't do. And then we figure it out like, okay, so this is what your interest. Sometimes we as a parent wanted to fix to it, but suddenly the child takes a turn. Okay, and then it's like I have actually 2 kids, 13 years old and 9 years old. Okay, to figure it out, it may take some time for one child, and it may take some very less time depending on the like how you travel and how you ask questions and how the your mood and child's mood like connection. Okay, so it all matters. And being very strong bonded with the community also matters for this. Okay, so sometimes you also would be a little less mood wise. Sometimes you will be more in josh, the child won't be in connection with you. So it all matters. And we all had a tough time. Sometimes I used to pull and push Anjali's child, and sometimes I know Pranav's child, Pranav's wife. She
So
used.
are you people on RVX also?
Yes, yes. So now it's all one, like Arohi X and Arohi
And
X.
RVX.
Yeah.
This one.
So yeah, this is what.
So I also would like to share something on this. So like being a part of community, being on ROEX or campus. So we have it's open to every day. It's not the same. So every day child may come up with some new interest, may wants to explore something. So we do discuss, we do plan, and we do reflect on each day. So it happens that processes that reflection, like Ratnesh has mentioned in the slides when he was sharing. So we do reflection. It's not me assessing the child, okay, my child is not engaged in some structured or some, the whole day child is free to do some whatever he likes. It's not that way. It's like we do at our, my son is a 7-year-old. So he has his plan in mind and I have my own day of a plan. So we do together. So we do come together at certain point of time. We do discuss, okay, I want to do this. And he says, I want to do this. So then how can we bargain and come up with some solution that it works for me and it works for that person, child also. So it's all that way. And the child has also its interest. So he also figures, so like he has a plan. So he wanted to go out, he went out. Because in the evening, the friends are available. So I want to go out. So that's his plan. He's mentioned, but he's not put it on the paper. But his plan is clear for him that 5 o'clock, the children are coming out to play. So I'm going out to play there. So that's how it's process. It's ongoing process, open. It's not one structured day. So that is from my side. Hope any more questions you can ask.
And just to add what was Anjali and Ambika have shared. Firstly, as an open learning family, we believe we don't have to rather engage the child. Basically, child by itself, is self-driven and will find enough to stay occupied and engaged and has the interest. It's just that the engagement is what the way we seek the engagement to be. Might not be the way it be. But we have certain thoughts about word engagement. This is what I think the engagement is really about. Or you want to have, it is more of probably result oriented, or I see certain things or certain pattern, and then I believe, oh, now my child is engaged. But probably first we have to also loosen up a bit as a parent. Okay, you're fine. The child is probably just in certain phase, and it's just probably could be the exposure phase, exploration phase. So we don't know. So being open will also allow child to, and gradually once the child finds that space, okay, I want to be more involved into this, it will get deeper. So that's how it goes. So it works both ways. So child staying engaged is not a problem. I think most of the cases, it is about we as parents, what we believe the engagement is.
Lakshita, you want to add how you go about living your life? Lakshita,
It's
you are
like
there?
what Anjali and Pranav said. It's not like I just do things every day. Some days I'm just not in a mood. And like sometimes I don't want to do things. Sometimes I want to do other things. So like it just depends on how I feel at the moment. And I just do what feels right. But like over time, it does improve. Like I find a proper schedule and I figure out when I feel like wanting to do certain things, so then I plan according to that and actually finish everything.
Subhani, hopefully that answered your broad question. The rest is for you to discover. how your family will engage itself. I would not even saying child engage, but the family
Child engage.
engages itself as the
Yes.
journey. Okay, more questions, thoughts, whatever questions, thoughts you have, please share. Especially if you can come on video, that would be nice so that we can have a visual connect also.
So, just I don't have a question, but I want to share the experience with the challenges. The theme is that. So recently we just went out with the basketball, and in the court we were playing. So Aram was playing. So all of a sudden he comes, why don't you try, Mama? And I never played a basketball in my life till now. So I just was holding the ball and played some little, but never the. So he said, okay, just try it out now once. So he put me in a challenge. Okay, it's my comfort zone is that I didn't play, so I don't know. So he said, just try once and see. And I played with him. So he played and just try one goal also. Mommy, till one goal you do, we will not go home back. So one your goal and one my goal. So we put a challenge. He put a challenge on me. And then okay, said, okay, I'll try. And I did 2 goals. So he was very happy and he was sharing that joy of me doing, and he put me into a challenge zone. He's sharing his joy with everyone. See, my mama has did the 2 goals in a lifetime. First time she played and she did 2 goals with me. So that's the experience of challenge in the open learning. So it's not me only giving a challenge to the child. Child is also giving a challenge to me also. He's also opening up me. That's how. That's the sharing. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. My child is now going to school. So how do we talk to the child about the open or about the open learning? Like now currently he is in a structured learning. So how can we make him understand like what is that you are not going to school, you are at home, you can do whatever you want. So the kids might take, okay, I'm free, I can do whatever I want. For example, I can watch TV, I can play. So like I'm clueless on that part.
Pranav, you want to share how you switched from Mishti going to school to Mishti not going to school?
Yeah. Janvi, how old is your child? I mean,
My child is 6-year-old.
okay. So for us, this journey started when our daughter Misty, she was like 7 years, and then this COVID struck, and it was basically online schooling. So it was 2020 March somewhere that time, and she was going through this online schooling as we all would have experienced, the parents, and uh, at that point, and then prior to that, we were always meeting people and trying to explore this space of open learning, probably the way we have just started into coming up for this meetup. So we used to meet people, we used to talk, and try to understand this space. And it was always as what you as a parent feel, same way we as a parent also felt this is a very interesting space, seems good, and take along the child, have that surrounding for her as well. And gradually, by the time when this COVID happened, uh, and we happened to see one film, Summer Hill, and she as a family we watched that film. And then Summer is again I would just say it's an sort of Arohi that you experience. It's based in UK. So we saw that movie, and she was like quite very delighted to see the film and the kind of life, the kind of the experience the children have, and as a community how it functions. So that is what she felt. And then we had a discussion, as in, and while doing online learning, she was like very not very happy in a way, because she's also a very happy child. She always loved going to school, good with whatever she was doing, and we were happy as a school was happy, everything was fine, nothing to be against anything. But suddenly she felt that, okay, I'm not liking this online part and I want to do something differently, I can't do it like this. And that's when we came across, and then we happened to speak to Ratnesh, and we came to know about Arohi. And we thought, and since she wanted to experience something different, the call was basically, as it is, we don't know how this thing will move on. So might as well take a break or probably take a what to say pause here and let's explore for a year or two and let's see how it goes. Okay, maybe if we shift from regular conventional schooling to something different, uh, how does it go? And that's where we started our journey, and we had a lot of discussion. We spoke to her, would she be in for this? So she said, yeah, I would love to kind of do this, and that's where we started. So initially first and luckily by June, ROEX also started, where she could engage with the community on online basis, but it was very different than what the typical online schooling was. And by end December or beginning of January 2021, we also visited the campus, and then things became far more. We got to understand it better, and since then it's been like no looking back, and we have been into this for last 2 years now, or probably more, and we're happy with this. And as a family, we continuously discuss, talk, try to understand more about open learning, and that's how we progress. And it's been fine.
So
Pranav, I have a
Janani, just one moment, Vijay. So Janani, the key word I picked up from what Pranav was sharing was discussion. So it's not like the child will so it's first of all, it's not the child who does open learning. So it's not the child who is switching from school to open learning. It's the family who is switching from, let's say, a structured school driven learning to the family saying now as a family, we are doing open learning. So forget child watching TV whole day. What about Janani watching TV whole day? Right. What I'm trying to say is, so it's not just about child, it's about all of us, right? What are we doing the whole day? And then there is a lot of discussion. And the child can question Janani, and Janani can question her son, and so on and so forth. Everybody discusses and plans together. It's like going on a journey together, right? It's just like how you would, when you travel together, each one will share and we will do things together, as well as we will spend time by ourselves. Now just imagine it's the life journey that you are going on together. Yeah. So yeah, the key word I would say is discussions and co-creation. We didn't use that term, but I'm inferring from that. Yeah. Sorry, Vijay. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have a question. Our journey has been that even before the child was born, I was very clear that I will not wanting to send her to the school because it's finding school as something unnatural for a natural blossoming of a child. So we tried few schools with this expectation, and it did not work out. And currently, she's been unschooled. I mean, but she's going to a community where she meets friends and tries out whatever she wants to try out, and not like a regular curriculum school and all. The challenge that we as a parent that we're facing is that one is allowing what the child, not allowing, we exploring what we want to do as a family and along with the child. Second challenge is balancing profession and spending time with the child. I'm an architect and I have my own company, and then I don't have to work from 9 to 6. Having said that, since I'm an entrepreneur, I have to work more than 9 to 6, and then more than 7 days in a week. So one good part that I also believe in living and learning. We should not separate living and learning. So wherever possible, I take her with me. Like even if it's a client meet or the client visit, I am a visiting professor as well in architecture college. Sometimes I take her to the college as well. She meets and talks with my students and all. But where we are kind of not very sure about the further ahead is like in terms of societal acceptance, like career, there is certification, though we may not like it and we may not find it that's the right way of getting things done, and it's also outdated. How do we go forward in terms of setting up a career? Of course, something that she likes, but how? And then also, that's one challenge. The second thing is, as Janani told, I think we also face the problem that I'll we as a parent try to engage her as much as possible, engage her in the sense engage ourselves together. But we see that she spent a lot of time on the mobile and the laptop and the digital space, basically. That may be good and bad depending on what the content she is seeing, and also the screen time. That's one challenge that we are facing. The second challenge is obviously what is the next step? How do we uh, as a family, how do we get into the societal acceptance of certification, codes and then career and all this stuff. I'm sure nobody would be accepting unschooled child into the mainstream career of IT or engineering or let's say medicine and things like that. That is where it is blur for me.
Yeah, Pranav, go ahead. You are the boss.
Just I don't know where this thought comes from, where nobody would be kind of thing. It's a very generalized and very that kind of a statement. I think just to quote a very recent example, this was in the front page of Times of India. There was a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old who probably you can also search and Google it.
Hyderabad.
Sorry.
That was in Hyderabad boy, right?
There was this online coding competition, and this guy was he wrote some course of some 100,000 whatever lines, and he won the contest, and he was offered the job by the US company with a package of 33 lakhs. The only reason he could not be picked up was because he was 15 and it was not an eligible age. So they have asked him to wait till 18. So I don't think by 15 there is any certification available in online program, whatever. So just a cite one of the examples, very recent, that just came to my mind. I felt I have to share. So I don't. Companies are open to see. Companies also. I think business is the most shrewd animal here, and companies would want to maximize on their bottom line, and they would pick people or the skill or the talent which will give the best to the company's bottom line. So I don't think, and they will kind of evolve very quickly with the changes that's happening. So getting stuck to this thought of it's only certification and is probably a bit outdated, I feel. And it's not that it's not important. There are certain fields, certain jobs where certification is a must, and where the child, if needed, might go for it and probably appear for those exams. But if the child is driven by something else, and if there is a certain portfolio or certain projects that the child gets into, then the opportunities are available. So it's not that there are no opportunities. I think I could answer one part of your question.
No, can we continue or
Sure.
can I continue?
Please.
Yeah. No, the question is, I agree with you, Pranav, that the certification is outdated. I go by that. But I, as a parent, and also I, as part of the existing society, which is where the certification and see, for example, 10th has to be passed and PU has to be passed, and then after that into mainstream education. That is where we have been brought up, right? And in my thought, I know that is outdated. So in practically, how do you do? If I have to ask you a question, Pranav, what is the plan that you have for your child in terms of what age she or he is? And
yeah,
that's my question.
So just now assuming, since you are a businessman yourself, you're an entrepreneur yourself. So if you were to hire someone, and that person shows promise, shows results, or gives you the results that you seek for, or designs a certain kind of project the way a proper engineer could do, without being into engineering college, or has that original thought of something, won't you be inclined to hire that person, or you would rather say no, certificate lao to hi baat karenge?
No.
So
I will be in.
Exactly. So there are people like you and me, and I think we assume that there are very less of such people, but there are many such people like you and me, and who are open to this thought, this idea, so there is an opportunity. That's what I feel. Now that it not be 100%, but there is space for this. But that's what I'm trying to comment. And then with regards to my child, so if today I am into some business, say I'm into, as you take your child along for the work that you go or meetings that you go, I would love my child to come with me and just probably experience that, and probably that. So if it's all about earning, why not expose them to earning right away? Why wait till 16, 21, 25 after the college degree? Let's straight away expose them to that, if that's the thought behind it. But if you want to just live and let the child explore first, gradually get into it, then be patient about it, and things will unfold, because we don't know how 15 years down the line things will be. Like, there are many things which are happening, and things are becoming redundant. Careers are getting redundant with technology. So, and we are not able to keep pace with that. So I think worrying too much about it is too premature, I feel.
So Vijay, if I take a step back, And my invitation to you uh, is to question the question. Yeah. I'm definitely not here to, well, I don't have an answer to your question, but I would invite you to question your question and see where is it coming from. What is this, so-called societal pressure for, let's say, degree or exams, and what is it that I have to fear about in terms of where my child will earn from, what kind of career will child make? Where are all these uh, where are all these questions coming from? Why am I having these questions? And I think that is very interesting because we realize all of them are coming from looking outside. Yeah, because the advertisers might say, hey, Vijay, your color is not good, put fair and lovely, but that does not mean anything. We know that, right? Now, what they say is immaterial. What is inside me is what is really of significance. And what I have seen year after year, child after child, is that if I don't look at the world, if I look at the child, each child, and obviously each individual also, but especially each child, then I don't have these questions at all. Children are just too amazing. Uh, they humble me on a daily basis with their ability to do things, to learn things, to go get things, to take initiative, to drive themselves, and so on and so forth, and to make Anjali play basketball and whatever. Right? They just, there is so much there out there that the only thing I can think of is other way around. I would question the world. Why is the I would come and ask Vijay, why is the world so bothered about all of this thing? While if they look at the resource that they have, which is the children, they should be like, wow, why we don't need to bother about anything, man. We can chill. So let's go back and relook at those questions, and maybe those questions are just planted as much as a fair and lovely advertisement is planted out there. And it is up to us to see whether we want to switch on that channel or just move ahead and look at this amazing life, amazing world of opportunities that lies all around us. It's like the abundance of, let's say, work options, right? Today, I can literally do anything and get paid for it. I mean, forget coding. Coding and all sound very conventional things, right? I can literally sell chai and make millions out of it. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. Right? And I may not even want to make millions of it. Right? I just want to live a simple life, and even that is an amazing choice. So what I'm trying to say is that we have got too much marketing done onto us. We need to declutter our own thinking and start questioning those, and then see what is of real importance to us. And I'm sure, Vijay, your list will be different, and Anjali's list will be different, and Janani's list will be different, and Bani's and Sunil's list will be different. And each one's then can operate from our real, genuine list. And I would first thing do is pick up that list, what is really important to me, and put it in front of the child and say, what do you think about it? And he or she may shoot some of them out of the table and say, this is not important. And then we are left with even few things. So I don't know. My thinking may sound a little more philosophical, if I may put it that way. But to me, that's the more practical way to live life, when we are able to unclutter our own overcluttered minds and then see, hey, what is it that we really want from our life and from our whatever. And as you figured out, I can take my child to my client meeting. Isn't that beautiful? Some people may say, oh my goodness, how can you be a professional? You are not a professional, Vijay. How can you behave like that? Bring your child to site and all that. But see, it's again a definition that the world has built. But for you, that's a beautiful way to go out. For you and your child is an organization, literally going to the site. Right. So that's the way I would invite you to look at.
I'm kind of into it, Ratnesh. Like, for example, if I have to say, there are many things that my daughter Mugdha, she has learned. Like, for example, she has learned swimming, but we don't have a swimming pool in our house. We never take her to the swimming pools. The way she learned swimming is because when I took her to the site, incidentally there were swimming pools where, and I went to the architectural site and she used to learn that. And she teaches me. I mean, you know what? I think there are two parts of me. I love seeing her naturally blossom, and there is another part of me which is driven by insecurity and, as I said, Fair and Lovely. There are two, collision between those two me, and then yeah, one of them takes over.
No, Vijay, I completely agree with you as a parent, and that anxiety, that fear. But I think it is more from our perspective. Probably we should also understand from the child's perspective. So I would just like to invite Lakshita here. She is one amongst those 12 years, 13 years, whatever years old. And let's hear from her. Does she have that fear? Does she feel that sort of insecurity? Lakshita, would you like to share something?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, I don't technically have that fear that, people might not hire me, because if they don't hire me, then I'll figure out a way. I will find somebody who hires me, because it's not like there are only a limited amount of people there in any field, because each field is vast. And I guess I'm not even worried about if people will ask for certification, because if it's like really necessary and I really want to do it, then I'll go get the certification. And like, you can probably get it anytime, any certification. So that isn't really a problem. And I don't see much problem there, because that it is no problem. You can just get hired if you show the skills or you're convincing enough. And if I convince enough people, then I'll probably have a whole line of companies waiting to hire me in like 10 different fields, just because I'm good at talking to people. And so it's not really a fear. I sometimes might have anxiety about it, but that eventually just goes away, because I know that I can somehow find a solution, and that there are solutions available. And if there is no solution, then I don't see why it's a problem at all.
Super. Thank you, Lakshita.
It's like a game. Somehow they'll find it.
The interesting part, Ambika, when
Yeah,
you say
exactly.
that,
It's like
yeah,
a game.
yeah,
It's like
that,
whack-a-mole.
that irrespective whether you get a degree or a certificate or whatever, life is still a game. If somebody could say that, okay, no, I've got 100 degrees or 100 certifications, now life is no more a game, I'm sure the next tide will turn everything around and it still be a game. And if it's no more a game, what's the fun of living it? Right? So in any which way, life is a game.
I loved Lakshita's quote. If there is no solution, then how it's a problem? What the problem is, at least we need to take this somewhere.
Yes, definitely. More thoughts. There are more people in the call, so please feel free to share. Yeah, Hardik, go ahead, please.
Actually, my wife was asking. I do not have this doubt, but my wife has.
Sure.
If in case we want to teach or keep the normal curriculum, like what they learn in the school, how we can start, or anybody has done that one? One I know, like NIUS we can follow, but at home how we can follow that one?
So are you saying you want to follow a curriculum or you want to study learn a particular topic or a subject? So they're two different things.
Okay. For first, my question is curriculum.
Yeah, so then it's very simple. You pick up the curriculum that you like. There are some 10 different curriculums out there, including nowadays online, there is a homeschooling curriculum. So there's no limit to curriculum, whichever you feel like. You want to pick up NCRT, you want to pick up CBSE, you want to pick up NIOS, you want to pick up IGCSE, IB, Singapore board, whichever, there are like hundreds of them, right? You pick up and you start following them. The other also interesting way is to look at, okay, I want to learn, let's say, physics, or I want to learn climates and weather science. I'm just picking up random topics, or I want to learn embroidery, anything I want to learn. I would say now, how do I want to approach it? Where do I want to start it? Do I want to start by watching movies about it, or do I want to start by reading some novels based on it, or reading some books about it, or going to a workshop about it, or just going to an outing, or just start by writing 10,000 questions that are coming in my mind? So that's the second way to going to learn. The second way to learn whatever anybody else is learning. Yeah, so it is not necessary that we need to see, the curriculum only tells you what is needed to be learned, right? Let's say I pick up a curriculum, it says I need to learn pressure, the concept of pressure. Now, one simple way to learn the concept of pressure is to go scuba diving. I don't know how many of you have done scuba diving. If you do scuba diving, one thing you will definitely learn is pressure. Okay. And the second thing you will learn is that the world underwater is amazingly beautiful. Why am I doing any job? Why can't I just be underwater all the time? Right? What I'm trying to say is that we have got so conventionalized that we think pressure, oh, abhi physics textbook, we need to grab that and somehow learn that. Yeah. So that's that's my way of looking at it. Meaning, let's learn, if at all I want to learn pressure, let me learn it underwater. and so on and so forth. You can take it however you want.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question here. So yeah, we have arrived at a particular interest. So how do we facilitate? So for example, you told like these are all like physics book is not the only way to learn about the pressure. So as a parent, we have a limited source of knowledge. So how do we go about, like, in what are all the ways, for example, for the matter of pressure, in what are all the ways we can learn or explore about pressure? For a kid of like maybe about 10 years, they'll have an idea of like what are all the source they can fetch. But for a 6-year-old, I think they need some assistance. How can we assist them? For example, like my child is having a question, like how do I assist him or facilitate him to read about it and get his answer? I don't know if you got the question. How do we help them?
You have an example, no, Janani? Can you elaborate it? Like what particular thing your child wants to know?
Like, I mean, I don't get any particular thing,
Okay,
but he generally he talks about clouds, for example. Like he used to admire looking at the clouds. So like I feel like he'll be more interested if he I mean, it's my assumption, like he'll be interested to know more about clouds. So how can I expose him to clouds? One thing I can think of is like books, but I can read to him. What I couldn't imagine beyond that. How can I help him? I can do some DIY activities, but I cannot do all 24/7 thinking about it. How can I make it easy, sustainable, and independent, so that the child can do something on his own also?
Janani, you answered your own question. Did you realize that? You said easy, sustainable, and what was the third one?
Independent.
Okay, independent. Now, who can make it easy, sustainable, and independent?
Only the child.
You answered your own question.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I'm not clearly getting, like, how can I assist him? I can give him books. That's what I can think of.
Okay, so let me put you, like, if I don't know the clouds, okay? I just be open to the child. Okay, even I don't know the clouds. Let's both of us figure it out. Okay. And as Ratnesh told a couple of examples, if I don't know, what do I do? Like see a movie or ask questions on questions, go out and see the clouds. What is clouds doing? Something like that. Okay, wherever you get the words, like seeing a movie or something like that, you both figure it out and then you write, if you want, record it. So you will be getting more than the book, because the book would be coming up with only one author, right? You can go for multiple authors of book, something like that, or multiple research on YouTube or whatever. So many, internet has so many on clouds. If you think of that, you go out and you can see. And this clouds ka answer won't remain on one day or 2 days. You just keep on asking. Definitely within 1 month, some person would be in front of you.
It would be nice if you tell the example that happened with you in your case with the child, like how did you approach
my example.
Anyone's example, like it is very interesting to learn, but I mean it is very interesting to hear, but I want to know like the detail level, how it went on, like the
Okay.
real-time example.
Okay, so I would ask, I was thinking, like, I know little bit of work of DNA or whatever, okay? So I was just thinking, okay, let me ask. I was just thinking, my child doesn't know what is DNA and all, okay? I was having that perception, but I asked him, okay, do you know what is DNA? So they come up with whatever cartoons they see, and they have such a beautiful knowledge that, I know that is twisted, and that is used for this purpose because the animation movie is showing that way. Okay, and he comes up with the character, mama, the DNA that is twisted, and they put the DNA, the twisted DNA, something. He came up with that particular cartoon, that thing. And I was such amazed to hear from his views, like, okay, I have not seen that part of DNA, but whatever he was telling was the real application part of the DNA. You got it? But I am like behind what is DNA, the concept of DNA, that doesn't matter. Actually, what the kid is seeing is the application part. So that's how we all like, that's one of the example I could remember as of now. Yeah.
And just to add here, Janani, probably it's a different way to look at this, as here your child is asking questions. So it's really nice that your child is kind of inquisitive and interested in knowing something. So it's a very good start to look at it that way. But many times we get stuck in the thought of the child should know this. The child should know what is the pressure, what is pressure, what is how does light function, or how does sound function, or what are the simple formulas of math. But the thing is, many a times see, such things happen around us, and we live with it. Like say today we are walking. So if I were to ask all of us, what is the scientific definition of walking? What do you mean by walking? How do you define walking? How do you separate walking from running? I'm sure many of us, I'm not saying for everyone, but probably many of us would not be having a scientific definition of what is walking and what is running. How do you differentiate that? And still we do that. So that is just the knowledge part of it. It doesn't change anything. Today probably you will understand what is walking if I tell you that there is something like gait involved, when 50% of your foot is down and 50% of foot is up. So there is a particular scientific way of looking at walking. But probably that doesn't matter actually, because we can walk, and even after knowing what walking is, it will change nothing in our life, because we will continue to walk the way we are walking. We'll not go by the scientific definition. नहीं, अगर मुझे walk करना है तो मुझे ऐसे करना पड़ेगा, then it is walking. So I think many times we get lost into this thought of knowing things rather than just doing things.
It is, if I may add, it is like learning swimming by diving and learning swimming by theory. So you don't have to know the theoretical part of it. And one more thought was, Janani, that we don't have to have the pressure of you have to teach or we have to know better than the child to teach the child. Many times I have gone through this situation where my daughter has asked many questions. I didn't have an answer, but I was really thankful for her, because she made me think in that direction. I went searching for the answer. So I had to, I told her that I'll get back to you, looked for an answer and got back to her. Not many times. Some of the times I've got an answer, some of the times I've not got an answer. So you don't have, one doesn't have to feel bad or embarrassed that you don't have an answer at that moment. Either you have an answer or you may not have an answer. It's fine. But the best part, as Pranav was telling, that the perspective what the child is giving to you to look into the new way, that's great. That's a great feeling. That is one thing which I enjoy being with my child and spending time with her in spite of the work pressure, is that she's helping me relive into totally different perspective, like a new born or a new life. That's the best part. Of course, I swing between being insecure and being a good parent enjoying the her moment. So I sway between those two things. So that's where I'm stuck.
Yeah, now I get a sense of what it is, and I can really understand what you're saying, like the oscillation between the our minds. I mean, the mindset which is correct and the conditioning which we are in. I'm also in the I'm also processing those thoughts, the thoughts you were telling about the society, and it's like we should question, as Ragnesh told, we should question the question.
What I would like to answer both Janani and Vijay is that one, or rather not answer, invite in what we have found, and is that when we are in a community, when we are all together, so many families doing open learning, then Vijay, you will realize everybody is oscillating. Everybody is going here and there and there. And if everybody is doing, you will be peaceful. Okay, it's not me alone who is oscillating from here to there, right? You can see Pranav smiling. You can see Anjali Ambika smiling. You can from their smile make out that they're as oscillating as Ratnesh is oscillating, as Vijay is oscillating. So please don't worry about oscillating. Just join the gang. Right? Then you get all oscillations. Janani, and the same answer to your question also. It is not you alone. Even I alone may think, oh, clouds now, how he's interested in clouds now. How do I support in clouds? Now, why should I find this answer? First of all, I will ask the child, obviously. And let's say the child also says, I don't know how to find out. I had to ask you. Then I will ask Pranav or Ambika or Shaunak, which is Ambika's son. Or I'll ask Anjali or Aram, which is Anjali's son, or Lakshita. So when we have a community, somebody else will be interested in cloud who will say, you move out of the way. Me and he will anyway learn about cloud. So you are not required. You see, so I make myself redundant because there are other people in the community who are as interested about clouds, who may be either ready to teach or explore together with the child, or or just write poetry about clouds, or write, or draw or paint clouds, or make clouds out of some craft thingy or some chemicals or whatever. So the beauty is in the community. If I had to store all the skills here, I will go mad, right? And it's not even possible. But then why should I bother? There is Ambika, there is Anjali, there is Pranav, and there are so many other families around, and all of them are with me. So that is precisely why we realize that we doing alone is only little fun. We doing with everybody is so much fun because everybody brings in a different perspective, different skills, different resourcefulness, and a different kind of joy. And that is what has helped us. So this is our secret as a community. I'm saying we enjoy this togetherness.
So for that, in a community, we do have a clubs where we come up with our interest channels. Like if the child is interested in exploring maths, so we do have some, like we in a community, we have a Jaish, and she comes up and she takes it and we explore maths with her. If the child wants to explore, then we connected with Jaish. So we do have a clubs in community. We meet there, we discuss, we share, and we learn from each other. There are many clubs happening in the Arohi community. From the psychology to Hindi, English, maths, logic, origami, art, cricket, football, everything is happening there. So hope this also adds to your.
And like just a based on the discussion. And it's that Janani, you don't have to be worried about assisting, because like being there is already getting half the job done. So like no matter how old your child is, they're 6 right now, right? So like sometimes it might feel like you're taking up all the spotlight, coming, I want to help you with this, I want to do this with you, come, let's do this to find out. And maybe your child would want to do it by themselves. So like being there is half the job done, because if they need the help, then they'll come ask for assistance.
Wow, another golden moment,
Yeah.
Pranav. We need to tag this. Thank you, Lakshita.
Lakshita will
And
need
I
your
think
video
this
as
is
well.
the result of
Lakshita, we need your
open
video.
learning that a child is, I mean, that a child is bringing a solution to us.
Lakshita's
Hi,
videos.
this is Rishi here. I just wanted to add one thing for Janani and Vijay. I think I like the fact that both of you are enjoying the journey, and that's important. I mean, especially when you think of addressing your insecurities and fear of the future, just realize that compromising for
Hey, Dviji, we lost your voice after compromising word.
yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, just restart from compromising.
Yeah, just that there is someone who's gaining from your compromising today for a safer tomorrow, perceived to be safer tomorrow. And that need not be that it is I don't mean to say that there is someone scheming against you. It is just that an insecure person is a much more marketable person than a person who is happy and secure. So especially as parents, right? So just wanted to put that thought out, that it's not by chance that you are feeling insecure. So it is very much part of the overall systemic design that individuals feel insecure. And like Ratesh was saying, that you can sell products, whether it's Fair and Lovely or a certification course, or what do you say, tuition, one of those tuition packages. So yeah, the child, like Lakshita has been sharing, you just give them the space, and you guys have already shared your own experiences. So it's amazing if we let them the space to explore and be themselves.
I have a question for Lakshita, hoping to get a solution.
Go ahead,
Hi, Lakshita.
please.
Yes, I heard there was a question to me.
Yeah. Lakshita, my daughter is about 11 years, and not always, but if I'm not around, if I can't, I and my wife, if we can't give time to her, she spends a lot of time on internet, on screen time. So should I be worried, or what should I be doing?
I don't think you should be worried at all, honestly, because like when I first started open learning, I was like so confused. I just couldn't take in the fact that I can do anything despite the whole thing being my decision. So like I spent a lot of time on the internet because I was just too overwhelmed. But like over time, you just it passes over. You realize that this is not going anywhere, I'm getting kind of bored, and your child will just honestly pick up something to do and then do it, because that's way more fun. So you shouldn't be worried, but it is good to like give a push, like why are you spending time on that? You used to like this, you still like this, or should we do something else? Because that is helpful, and it kind of snaps them back from reality. And I need a push sometimes too. So like you shouldn't be worried, but you should give push and suggestions.
Okay, thank God, that is assuring.
And I guess it's not just children who get hooked to the device, right, Vijay?
Yes. No, what worries me, Ganesh, they're young, right? It's not about the content alone, the screen time and effect on the eyes, and the energy that it drains out. That is what is worrying me. But mostly, she's a lot of energy. If there is nothing to do, if there is nobody around to connect with, or there is nobody anything else to explore, out of boredom, there is no other way. Then that's how she gets onto that one. So I think what Lakshita told me gives me some hope, because nothing to worry. But only thing is, I should find environment or activities so that she unplugs from there, rather than me telling don't do. Find activities and environment, so that she doesn't have to plug to internet.
I'm not so sure I would think in that way. Again, so then you are saying I am responsible. Open learning, the core of open learning is about giving that responsibility of an individual to that individual. Right. Yes, I can give my feedback. I can give my thoughts. I can bring different exposures. I'm not saying whatever you plan to do, but not from the sense of responsibility. If you take over the responsibility, then you have just replaced the role of headmaster. So now Vijay becomes the headmaster. You know what I mean? But imagine you continue to do whatever 1 million things that you are trying to do, take her to places, bring a lot of resources, but not from the perspective that I am responsible for her life, for her gadgets, for her engagement, for her learning, for nothing. All of that is a responsibility. Let's hand over to the child. And how do we hand over? Obviously, discussions. Pranav started this today's meetup by saying, I discuss so much with my child. That is the core. Hey, how are you wanting to engage yourself? How are you wanting to take initiative in? What are you wanting to take initiative? What are you planning to do in this week? How are you planning to add joy in your life? And so on and so forth. And every of that question communicates to the child, you are responsible for your life as much as I am responsible for my life, as much as we are together to support each other. Yeah. So I'm only fearful that we should not look at it from the point of view that I am responsible. Then I might, then what's the whole point of doing open learning? As well, we have people who are, so to say, trained or whatever, we might as well give them the responsibility, right? But the moment I realize that I am no more responsible, then I'm actually free to do more. Because I'm not, then the responsibility is not ruining my whole joy of looking at things that we can do together, as in me and my child, or that I can bring to the child, or child can bring for me. Why not? Just like Anjali's son brought for Anjali.
No, the point that I'm talking, Ratnesh, is that she wants to play with me and she wants to go out with me. She wants to be with me, but not all the time I can spend time with her. I can see that she's wanting a pie of my time, but since I'm unable to spend time with her when I'm spending time with a client, or let's say on the site and all the stuff.
Sure.
So that is when she doesn't have anybody. Then that is when she connects with her. That is where I feel probably guilty, but I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, that's exactly
And
what I'm saying. Exactly. Even in that situation, who is responsible? Just because you are busy doing your thing, suddenly why should I feel I am responsible? So I feel guilty and all of that. No. If I am busy, it is her responsibility to figure out how can she make use of my busy time. Okay. And let me put that responsibility to her. Let's see what happens. Again, it's not that I will not give ideas. I will give her ideas. She will give me ideas, but the responsibility still lies with her. For every minute that she lives and for every minute I live, the responsibility lies with the individual. It's when we start taking away the responsibility, we are saying, no. There is you are the driver, but I am a super driver, sitting on back seat, driving you, which nobody likes. Tell me anybody who likes a backseat driver.
Got it.
So let's stop being the super driver. Let's start being a co-passenger. Everybody likes co-passengers who discuss, where are we going? How are we going? What are we doing? No. So everybody likes a co-passenger, but nobody likes a backseat, super driver, if I call it.
But what is the action point for me? Like next time that happens, what is that action point for me in that particular situation?
there is no action point. There is a realization point. If you can move into that, then action will flow out of you. I don't have to tell you. The moment you say, okay, so action point is right now, go to your daughter and say, from now onwards, I'm not responsible for you whatsoever. And you are responsible for yourself. I'm responsible for myself. My wife is responsible for herself. And we all are individually responsible for ourselves, but we are together. That's the action point. Let's see what flows after that between you all. Since you asked for an action. Maybe action point is to discuss this aspect. Sorry, Ambika.
Making us aware again and again, I am not responsible. I am not responsible.
Yes. Cool. So we have reached 6:30. Sorry, time flew today. Thanks to lovely discussions by all of you. So this is typically where we pause. We only pause here with the invitation that recordings of all the previous sessions are available on our YouTube playlist, which has been mailed to you, which is also there on the website, with an invitation that we will be here every Saturday. Please join us. And any Saturday, many Saturdays, the same link, so you don't have to bother for the link, Zoom link. And with the invitation that if you will feel like coming over to the campus to stay here and to experience and be with us, you're most welcome, right? Again, all the details are there on the website. So thank you very much. And yeah, see you in one way or the other soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Ratni,
Thank
and
you.
all.
Bye.